Xabi Alonso has revolutionized Real Madrid, and it's pretty much been done in 2 games, because you see, Real Madrid have almost never looked this fluid. Even under Zizou, and not just that, but Xabi has instilled a real spirit in this team. Pressing, a high defensive line, and a work or go nature is present in the side, and with the players that he does have, it makes this Madrid side almost impossible to defeat. Under Ancelotti, it was completely the opposite. There was a certain lethargy to the squad, and many of the players who were expected to perform as some of the best in the world looked far from their usual standard. Not only this, but Carlo failed to get the best out of some of his lesser named players, like Goulet, and least of all, with Castilla's newest star, Gonzalo Garcia, who has exploded this tournament. As for Goulet in specific, he hasn't burst onto the assisting or scoring sheets like Gonzalo, but his importance to the squad has been immeasurable. Unlike Carlo Ancelotti, who used Arda on the right wing, Xabi has reinvented him, using him in the pivot rather than in the attack. And when the tournament started, reports suggested that Xabi was actually dissatisfied with his current midfield options, which was fair considering he had Ceballos, who hadn't been the same since injury, Camavinga still out, and out of all players, Brahim Diaz. Anyways, the important part is that Arda has changed the team. His ability to control the game from deep, but also find a way into the final third and transition from a deep controlling playmaker to a classic number 10. It's incredible the way that Xabi has reinvented him, and his ability has gotten the best out of Fede and the pivot next to him, with his ability to control the game allowing Fede to sneak into the final third and unlock the license to shoot outside from the area. And not just Fede, but Gonzalo Garcia too, who has found it easy to move around and press the ball with the reliability of Arda behind it. Just in addition to Arda Güler's ability to pick out a pass from anywhere, which we saw against Dortmund with his 2 incredible assists to Gonzalo and Mbappe. Arda is only on an upward trajectory, and in terms of talent, we're looking at a future Ballon d'Or level winning player, a player with an already huge fan base, especially in Turkey, and huge talent. But that's enough of my glazing section, because another player Xabi has less so reinvented, but rather upgraded, is Jude. You see, in his first season with Carlo, Jude had the license to be in and around the box, having one of the greatest debut seasons for a midfielder ever. But in season 2, he looked less convincing, and that was largely attributed to the fact that he was practically run to the ground, all thanks to the injuries of the players around him, being asked to play CDM, CM, Cam, right back, right wing back, winger, all while having a shoulder injury. So in reality, for what he was asked to do, Jude played extremely well, with an elegance to his game, even with the occasional mistake or 2. Jude isn't even the player who's been most impacted by the change, because almost as much as Goulet, Fran Garcia has looked levels above his performances under Carlo, and it really makes you start to question if he's more of a wingback than a fullback. But largely attributed to this is that Xabi has faith in Fran, meaning he allows him to take on his man and attempt more crosses than he'd ever tried under Ancelotti. Not just that, but with Vinny being moved to a more central attacking role and being asked to drop deeper and influence play more, it leaves Fran with a lot of space and the freedom to perform. Lastly, Tchouaméni, who is probably the least improved of this lot, considering he did have his fair share of great performances under Carletto, but it's still worth it to consider the performances he put under Xabi, because he's been a metronome in the lower third, getting into the back 3 and the deeper midfield fluidly throughout the game. In fact, his ability and football IQ is a huge reason for why Madrid are able to play so fluidly under Alonso, comfortably switching from a 4 and back 3 throughout matches. Now, I've discussed players who Xabi has improved. It's only fair to discuss the ones that Xabi has created, or rather, introduced. Alisson and Trent. Now, off the bat, it's clear that both of these two have had a huge impact in the games they've played. Trent has been surprisingly defensively solid and attacking, just like Fran. He's starting to look more like a wingback than a fullback. We are starting to see some of his signature crosses come to light in Madrid, and it's similar with Alisson. His ball-playing ability has been key to the midfield and attacking success. And even though he did get a silly red against Dortmund, which was similarly stupid to Raul's red, his performances in this tournament shouldn't be overlooked. But he's been Madrid's key defender and has also managed to impact the higher thirds, as I mentioned. Finally, I have to mention how well this Xabi system is creating chances. In every match, the team has outperformed the opposition's XG, except the Pachuca match, where the team still managed to overperform our XG by 2 goals, all with a man down. I think this team is still lacking a bit of clinicality, but that could really just be a problem with the chemistry of this team and how early stages it is. Now, with this team, it reminds me a lot of the building stages of Hansi Flick's Barca. You see, with both teams, they brought in a new manager at the beginning of the season, a high-pressing and attacking manager, even if not both on the same level of, that philosophy. And you see, both Flick and Xabi, they were able to transform their respective teams by following 3 main principles, which go as follows. 1. Implement an attacking-based approach based on the abilities of the individual players in the team. Check. 2. Improve each player on the team to a satisfactory level to deliver out said attacking approach to the highest level, and those who can't, don't play. Check. And 3. Be ruthless, implement a my way or the highway philosophy, involving players being expected to give it all while out on the pitch. Now, if we were even to go one principle further, I'd say number 4. Let's focus on the future. Use the resources available to create the best winning team as soon as possible. Barcelona, check. Real Madrid, in progress. Alright, now that that's been addressed, I just wanted to ask that just because Xabi's side are on the pathway to completing all these steps does not guarantee success. After all, Xabi and Flick are 2 different coaches with 2 different teams. Just because they share similarities tactically does not mean their teams will function the same. After all, if that was the case, every manager in football would just have the same philosophy. Xabi's path will include steps on how to make the 3-back system defensively reliable, how to create more support on the right-hand side for Trent, how to get the best and man-manage world-class players like Vinny and Mbappe while ensuring the Castilla also gets a chance. Now, I won't yap forever because that's pretty much the main breakdown of the Xabi system. Okay, to updates, the finals are wrapped up, Chelsea are the winners, and the dust has pretty much been settled. The loss felt terrible to PSG, but flash forward to today, Madrid are knocked out of the Club World Cup in a humiliating 4-0 loss to PSG. Thank goodness they got their beating. And I have so many things to say about this match. And even though I did have a lot of optimism about this team, my head always told me that realistically, this is not the Real Madrid of the past, with the unbreakable mentality, with Don Karim or CR7. And credit to Xabi, he still found a way to improve the team, but he needs to completely overturn the mentality of this club.
The beginning of 2025-26 will start at 0, not from 95 or 98 where we finished today.
Which is why I had the feeling that PSG would always end up winning this game. The mentality issue is huge in comparison to PSG. We see pure laziness from players all across the pitch, while Dembele presses like a madman just across the field. And it's almost like the moment this team makes a mistake or loses control of a game, they just give up. Even Alonso looked lost near the end.
I believed that the moment required a bit of patience.
No changes at all at the half. I will go on and say that this loss doesn't mean that this team can't succeed or all their checkpoints are gone. Xabi will need more time to fully make an impact. Now before I end, I'd also like to mention Arda Güler and Dean Howson. First of all, Arda was keeping the ball a lot more than other Real Madrid players, but struggled to find solutions. I hope that's something that we can see improved on as his physicality is constantly improved, and he'll be the disciple of a great ex-midfielder in Xabi Alonso. Soon, he'll be bigger, faster, stronger, and smarter. And once that's the case, I think he'll do a lot better than before. I'll be looking forward to a Ronaldo post-2006 World Cup type evolution with this kid. If said growth can happen, I don't see anything stopping him from becoming the best in the world. And with Howson, he didn't play against PSG, but his absence was massive, as we saw when it happens when it comes to a Rudiger Asensio pair now. And it also meant that we lost a lot of control of the ball. His ball playing ability is clearly huge with our build-up. Same with Trent, and it was a key reason why we underperformed so much that game. But I will end this by saying, this is a new era at Real Madrid, and even though it will be marked by a bad loss to start, it's a beautiful future ahead of this side.